Imagine a perfect society built entirely without class, without greed, and free from the crushing anxiety of basic survival. That is the promise of communism. The theory proposes an economy designed purely around human need, a non-market system where the state provides housing and basic utilities. Standard economic pressures are eliminated. There are no predatory landlords to hike your rent, and no volatile markets to wipe out your savings. On paper, this blueprint solves the deepest struggles of the working class. It offers a vision of systematic harmony, where the wealth of a nation is shared by those who built it. During the 20th century, this exact utopian blueprint was implemented across the globe, from the Soviet Union to Maoist China, North Korea, Cuba, and Southeast Asia. Vastly different cultures attempted to build the communist dream. Despite those differences, every single experiment resulted in the exact same outcome: a centralized authoritarian regime. The promised workers' paradise devolved into a police state. Basic freedoms evaporated. Dissent was met with the gulag or the firing squad. The state became an all-consuming leviathan. Modern sympathizers often argue that these noble ideals were simply corrupted by bad men. Stalin ruined it. Mao went too far. A tragic deviation. But what if they are completely wrong? What if the gulags and the secret police were not a mistake? The mechanics of power suggest that authoritarianism was the system's intended feature. To understand why, we have to look at how power functioned for thousands of years. In the ancient order of kings and emperors, the monarch owned everything. The land, the forests, and the rivers all belonged to the crown. Because they owned the land, they functionally owned the people living on it. The king could grant you an estate or seize your crops and leave you to starve. This was the rule of an unaccountable elite. Their power was absolute, unconstrained by constitutions, by voting booths, or private property rights. The mechanical rule of the ancient world was simple. If you own nothing, you have zero leverage. You are entirely dependent on the goodwill of the sovereign. The democratic and republican projects of the last few centuries were a direct rebellion against this ancient order. Enlightenment thinkers realized that human freedom requires dividing power. They bound the elite in chains of law, using checks, balances, and elections. Most importantly, these republics established the bedrock of private property. Private property provides the mechanical leverage the citizen needs against the state. If the state cannot take your land, the state does not own you. This independence finally made the elite accountable to the people. Now, look at the mechanics of communism and its very first operational demand. It demands the total abolition of private property. It requires that all resources and industry be surrendered and centralized into the hands of the state. This centralization strips away the exact leverage the democratic project fought for centuries to build. This wealth is managed by a vanguard party, a central committee, or a supreme leader. By destroying private ownership, communism recreates the ancient monarchy. The rulers merely replaced jeweled crowns with military fatigues and business suits. This state possesses absolute power. It dictates where you work, what you eat, and where you live. They possess this power because the state owns everything. It answers to no one. Ultimately, you simply cannot centralize all a nation's wealth and economic power without simultaneously centralizing all of its physical force. Communism functions as a reactionary movement. It is the dismantling of a democratic republic disguised as a workers' revolution to return power to the unaccountable elite.